Hello, my name is Aaron Leibtag. I'm the rabbi of congregation KJBS in Chicago. This is Kinnah Tes Zion 16, Zachar Asher Asot Tsar Bifnim. It's a Kinnah that as you go through the Kinnah, it's about Titus Harasha, some of the terrible, horrible things that Titus did in the Beis Hamikdash, and as well has a number of references to stories of Kiddush Hashem, explicitly the story of the 400 boys and girls who threw themselves into the water, into the sea, and really died al Kiddush Hashem. But I want to focus on Titus Harasha. The question is very simple. Why in the world do we make a Kinnah and talk about Titus? Wouldn't it be easier if we didn't talk about Titus? Because if we didn't talk about Titus Harasha, we would forget about him. We would forget about the terrible, horrible, despicable things that Titus Harasha did. He would be like the other many generals throughout Jewish history that have attacked us and tried to kill us and wipe us out, that we'd forget about them. But yet every year we talk about Titus. So why don't we make a Kinnah? Why don't we bring up Titus Harasha? And there's an answer that I heard a number of years ago from my rabbi growing up, Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Weinreb, who is now, of course, the executive vice president emeritus of the Orthodox Union. And Rabbi Weinreb shared a very powerful idea that has implications to us now, and something that I think over the last few months we've learned to appreciate. Why don't we make a Kinnah about Titus? When we talk about evil, sometimes we think that evil, even for example, Rav Yisrael Salanter talks about the Yetzer Hara. So what is the Yetzer Hara? Some believe the Yetzer Hara is devilish, it's this being, it's demonic, it's terrible, but it's really its own category, and that's how we categorize evil. And he suggested there's another approach, that the Yetzer Hara is not evil, it's not this devil, it's an attitude, it's an appetite, it's something that pushes me, but it's not the devil. Rav Yisrael Salanter says that it's both. Because if we think that the Yetzer Hara is this completely horrible devil of a being, we put it in its own category, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes evil is there, and some people, average, so to speak, normal, so to speak, people can do such horrible things. Hannah Arendt was a great writer who wrote a book. She wrote for the New Yorker, but she covered the Eichmann trial for the New Yorker. And she wrote a book called Eichmann in Jerusalem, The Report on the Banality of Evil. And she talked about Eichmann, not to back him, not to justify him, but that Eichmann didn't have thorns. He was an ordinary, so to speak, kind of person. He didn't have these diabolical intentions. He was an employee, part of an organization. That's how he looked at himself. And in fact, until his last dying breath, as he dies, in fact, he says, "Gentlemen, we shall meet again. Such is the fate of all men. Long live Germany, long live Argentina, long live Austria. I shall not forget them." Meaning, as she says, even at his own death, he didn't realize what he had become. Eichmann was a Rasha, Yamach Shemo. And she's not condoning him, but she's saying, as Rasul Salanter is saying, humans have capacity for evil. Even normal people can accomplish terrible, horrible things. And that's Titus Harasha. Titus Harasha does something that is so crazy. What he did and how he acts in the holiest of holies in the Kodesh HaKodashim. But he wasn't diabolical and he wasn't the devil. He was a person. So maybe we read the story of Titus to remind us what one individual can accomplish. An individual can accomplish such horror, and at the same time, we have a Yetzer Hara, we have a Yetzer HaTov. And one person can perform unbelievable acts of goodness, of chesed, of godliness in this world, the same way that they can sink to the lowest depths of society. And that's why we read this Kinnah. And something that I think we've seen over the last few months as we lived with this COVID-19, with quarantine, with shelter in place, is the amazing acts of people, whether that's doctors, nurses, Hatzalah, teachers, People that have gone, chesed organizations, individuals within shuls, within communities that have gone above and beyond for people. One person, one individual can accomplish such good. We read this Kinnah to remind us of our capacity and our accountability. We have within us the power to impact the world on a magnificent scale. And whether we do it, chas v'shalom, negatively, or hopefully positively, is up to us. And we should never ever think that it's beneath us to do anything, and should never think that it's not within our power to accomplish greatness.